I do want to share with you guys what I would like to call an everyday makeup look that is appropriate for a corporate life. I do like to put in a little bit of effort, and I told myself as I prepare to go back into the workforce, whether I'm working remote or in office or even a hybrid schedule, I do want to make sure that I'm like still putting in some effort. I'm using my phone as a mirror essentially because I don't have another mirror. I forgot to bring my portable mirror. Now first, I usually like to color correct because I feel like this eliminates the need to kind of go heavy with the foundation. So I'm going in with my Live Tinted Rye Stick. This thing is basically finished, so I'm really sort of scraping in there. I think I might actually have to use a brush and get some out. I like to use my products to the very last drop, and it still got a little something in it. I'm gonna take like a bigger fluffy brush. I feel like this is somewhat of like an eyeshadow brush, but I like to use this on my face just because it's pretty big to me. So it's too big for my eye. Well, I got big eyes, so it's probably not too big for my eye. Basically applying that around my mouth, my chin. It's usually where I tend to experience more discoloration. I kind of have some hyperpigmentation around there. You really do want to take your time to blend it out. If you're a little lighter than me, you definitely want to go for like a peach corrector. I feel like if you're my shade or darker, orange can work. But again, preference. It's all about preference. My eyes actually have not been as dark lately, and I think that's just because I've been consistent with using my eye cream. And if you haven't watched my video, I showed you guys some beauty tips that I am not playing with when it comes to my 30s, and eye cream is one of them. It's one of those things where you're playing the long game. You know, I want to keep the skin under my eye supple. So that is pretty blended out. It sort of just neutralizes some of the dark spots and helps me to ensure that I don't have to go in too heavy with my complexion products. I'm gonna try to find a mirror. One second. I'm gonna go in directly with foundation. I'm gonna go on with the Patrick Ta foundation. I tried this on at Sephora and I was like, wait a minute, this is real nice. This is real nice. And of course I had to do my Googles over on TikTok to see what the girlies, like what it looked like on them. And honestly, the finish was absolutely stunning. And so I decided to pick it up. And I got the shade Neutral, and this is their Major Skin Hydra Luxe Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. That is quite literally one of the longest titles I have seen on a makeup product. My God. So I just put that on the back of my hand just to warm it up a little bit. And I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty brush. I love this brush. It is extremely soft, and I feel like it applies complexion products really nicely. I do tend to interchange between this Fenty brush and then my Sephora Pro Foundation number 70. Anyway, this thing is dripping, so let's just take some of that. I take my finger and I just like to do one of these. Wow, that's like a dead match to my forehead. That's really nice. Whoa. Probably gonna go on with one more layer. Rule of thumb, start off small and then build up as you go. Eliminate to you having any issue with like accidentally putting on too much. Ooh, hair's in the way. Not sure if I like my hair today. And that's the beauty of having a pixie cut. Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't. I feel like right now it's kind of giving me boy. Oh, this is so pretty. Oh my God, this is stunning. Whoa, I'm gonna take a little bit more, just like a little bit. I'm not mad at this neutral shade. I think it's as close as one could get to my skin tone. I am an oily girl, and so this is obviously a luminous foundation. I like to have a more luminous base and then I can mattify it, which just reminded me I totally forgot to put on my primer. Usually I would have gone in with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Why did I forget? Use a primer, especially if you're gonna be in the office. Literally, it needs to last all day. But also have the one side Secure the Blur. I also like to put that really like on my cheekbones, on my forehead, just because that is where I get the most oily. So that is what I would have done. Secure the Blur, cheekbones, forehead, grip primer, the rest of my face. Now I'm gonna go in with the Pat McGrath. This is the Sublime Perfection Concealer in the shade MD25. I think it's great for every day. This particular shade on me has just enough brightness, I would say. Going to my usual suspects, we have under my eye, I just put it here and over here, bridge of my nose, my forehead just a little bit, on my chin, upper lip. Set that concealer before I blend it out and let it set and dry. I'm going in with the Urban Decay Ultra Matte Spray. This actually helps to kind of counterbalance that luminosity. Shake well, up high, and let it kind of fall into your face. You don't want to spray it directly just to avoid like getting too much, but you do want to have a generous spray. Take my little Patrick Ta fan. I just remember this is from Patrick Ta. I like his packaging. I use this fan for everything. Use it for my skincare, to dry down my skincare. dry down my makeup. Back in 2023, I had decided like, I think it's time to like, you know, explore the possibility of going back. 2023, I was pretty hesitant about it just because I felt like I was in denial of my situation. But 2024, the denial went away. And so 2023, I was applying to jobs. I wasn't like super going hard with it, but I still told myself like at least submit, you know, a few applications a week just to kind of, you know, brush up on your skills and understand, you know, what's out there. Towards the end of 2023, as we entered 2024, is when I became way more serious about it and way more active with applying. As everybody says, the workforce right now is real interesting, and trying to get into the workforce right now is real interesting. But I'm confident that either by the time this video goes live, I will have secured a position. You know, I'll give a caveat. Maybe Editing Shay will hop in and say something. Editing Shay here. I did not get that position that I was hopeful for. Yeah, very disappointed, but we move. You know, it's been a journey. It's been a journey. This market is very interesting. I'm excited to actually go back just because honestly, as much as outside of just like, you know, financial stability, I enjoy using my analytical brain. Genuinely, I do feel like being an influencer is highly creative. And I really do love the creativity that creating content has brought me. But I do miss using more of my analytical kind of like data-based techie brain. I just miss sort of collabing with my coworkers. I miss bringing ideas together. I miss being part of a team and kind of bringing something to life. Working is work, so, you know, it is still work. All has its benefits. You know, the same with content creating. As much as it's like fun, a lot of it is work. Like, no matter what you do, I know people say like, if you love what you do, you won't work a day in your life. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I feel like no matter what you do, you're always gonna work. There are some things that I don't like doing when it comes to creating. You know, I found my enjoyment with editing content here and there, but like editing long form content takes a lot of effort, a lot of work. Accounting stuff, taxes. I say all this to say, you pick and choose your battles, okay? This thing has dried down just a bit, so we're gonna blend it out. I'm using my Sephora brush. I like to use this. This is their number 57. It's their concealer brush. At one point in time, this brush was consistently sold out, but it's a good brush. Their pro makeup tools are very good. Gotta give them that. And then I'm going in with this flat brush, and this one is from, I do not remember the brand because it's all faded off. But any type of flat kind of tapered brush, I think it helps you get into the little nooks and crannies of your eye in particular. And the reason why I'm using a brush and not a sponge, I do feel like sometimes a sponge soaks up too much product. Sometimes I'm like, hey, hold on, especially product that I paid for. So I think a brush like this helps me to at least distribute the product, and then if I want to diffuse it just a bit more, I can go on with the sponge. And now I'm going to take my foundation brush and just blend out any harsh lines, because there are some, usually around the concealer, around my eye, around my chin, and around the upper lip. Just want to have all that be seamless, you know, seamless. Actually going to take that leftover concealer and apply it on my eyes just to sort of make sure that the tones are matching. My eyes are just slightly darker than the rest of my face. So I like to neutralize that. Anyway, that is my spiel about going back into the workforce. And, you know, I finally come to acceptance and kind of excitement for the possibility of just doing something different. I'm obviously going to keep creating. Like when I was working full time before, I was creating consistently. I almost think even more so because I felt like my time was very limited and restricted. So I was like, I only have so much time to do what I need to do. And so I was creating like a lot. I'm excited to get back into that mindset of just doing what I need to do in order to get stuff done. Anyway, so I'm taking my Rare Beauty, and this is their bronzer. I'm actually gonna rub that on the back of my hand because I wanna get that color deposited. I think this is the shade On the Horizon. It's a nice kind of like bronzer. I know they recently came out with their liquid contours, which I haven't tried yet. Then I'm gonna go in with this shade from NARS. This is their Laguna number 5. Now I used to use Laguna number 4, but at one point I felt like Laguna number 4 was pulling a little too red. And so Laguna number 5 has a bit more cool tone, which is great for contour. It's pretty dark as well. Because it's kind of dark, I am gonna mix that with the Rare Beauty just to get sort of like that bronzy contour shade that I'm looking for. Dip some of that mix onto my forehead. Oh, that's perfect. Oh my God. Again, we don't want too much on my cheekbone. You can use a brush for this. I'm just using my fingers because it's what I have right now. Right here on my nose, I like to just kind of do a faux nose contour, not too much, just literally right there. Sometimes you gotta just mix the products to get your desired shade, and that's what I'm realizing as well. I think I've always tried to like find my exact shade at the store, and realistically, you just can't always do that. So it's okay to mix. I'm taking a brush like this. This is like a tapered sort of powder brush, and I like using this for more subtle bronzer contour situations. My hair is in the way, but that's okay. But yes, this helps to diffuse out that contour, but also obviously deposit the product nicely. You can also use more of like a thicker tapered brush. I like to use this when I want to go more heavier with my bronzer or contour. Go back with your foundation brush and just sort of diffuse that out just a little bit. I'm bouncing that brush on my head. And then I'm gonna go in with this little tapered powder brush, another tapered powder brush just for this area of my nose. I think I'm actually gonna take a little bit more of the bronzer than the contour, because I think the bronzer actually, I like the shade a little better on my nose. We're getting there. We're actually gonna go in with a little bit of blush. I'm taking the Pat McGrath. This is their blush in Dancing Queen. This is a very pigmented blush. I'm tapping just to get the product on my brush. Also just clean these brushes so makeup is applying beautifully. And then I'm going to very lightly tap. See, even that's a lot, wow. These blushes are very pigmented, so you don't wanna go too heavy. I'm just bringing it kind of a little up towards my temple, just a little bit. Just like it just adds a nice little rosy flush. And now onto my favorite part, which is setting. I'm taking a one size, and this is their Ultra Pink. Now, I mentioned that I'm currently not in my own space right now, and so I have kind of like, I'll say limited makeup products. Usually I would double powder, but I'm gonna go on with Ultra Pink only because that's all I have with me here. I'm taking the Sephora Puff. This is a really good puff. It's perfect for setting your under eye. Like, I take some powder, pat it on the back of my hand to remove the excess, apply. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Like, look at that. It's like an immediate mattifying situation. I love it. Oh, that just instantly literally makes the makeup look like, okay, we're doing something. Hit my forehead, bridge of my nose, my chin, my upper lip. The reason why I like to use Ultra Pink is that I feel like it helps to neutralize any kind of yellowness in either the concealer or foundation that I'm using. But sometimes the concealer, for some reason, as much as I love the formula and I love the color, I've noticed that sometimes it can pull just a little yellow on me. Sometimes, I don't know, depending. And so I feel like the pink powder sort of helps to neutralize that. I'm going in with a bigger fluffy brush. This is a basic, face brush. And I'm using that pink powder just to go over the rest of my face. Oh, this looks so nice. This looks so nice. We're not doing anything too crazy. We're keeping it nice and I guess muted and simple. Taking that same brush and going into this Kosas Cloud set, Silky Cloud set in the shade I do not know. I've had this for a minute now. Look at, I'm not giving this up until I finish, and it's not really that finished. So I feel like it provides just enough coverage, nothing too crazy, but also sets the makeup really nicely. You want your skin to peek through. Like, you want it to look just like you're just glowing from within, It's like, okay, I got a little something, but I don't got too much. You can still see the essence of my skin, right? Right. For blush, you can also add on a topper, because that one was like a cream to powder blush, but I'm just gonna top it off ever so slightly with this Giorgio Armani in the shade number 60. It's kind of a very similar shade to the Dancing Queen Danessa Myricks blush. And I'm just gonna take a little bit just to enhance what I already have. Just a little bit, just a little bit. All right, moving to eyes. I'm gonna do my eyebrows real quick. That is very important. So I'm taking the Benefit. This is their Precisely My Brow pencil. I love this pencil. I hit my under eyebrow. I like to kind of draw and then use my spoolie. Oh, it's a fresh spoolie. I love it. To sort of blend out what I drew and then use the pen side to stroke some hairs. Then I top that up with the Fluff Up Brow Wax. Just like that, this kind of keeps my brow hairs higher. This keeps my brow hairs in place. Now for my eyes, Again, we're keeping it really neutral, really simple. I'm going to go in with a little eyeshadow brush, and I'm going in with this random palette. I don't know where this palette is from, but I'm going in with this sort of like mocha mousse shade. That's literally what it looks like. This is one of my tricks I like to do. It does sort of open up my eye a bit too. I don't know. It's like you can't really see it because it's basically my skin tone, but it's noticeable on my eye. And just bring that into your crease and over as much as your eyelid as you want. I usually do it on like 2/3 of my eyelid. It's really just to brighten up the eye just a little bit. Just a little bit. If you want to brighten it up some more, you can go in with like a almost kind of like cream shade. I'm going to tap into that just a little bit. I mean, it's like so slight. Honestly, you can barely see it. I know it's like just a little bit lighter. I'm going to take a black eyeliner and I'm just going to smudge a little bit on my upper waterline. We're gonna smudge it out, don't worry. We're taking a tapered eye pencil brush and we're just going to kind of blend out. The goal is just to add a little bit of dimension to your eye. You can also take some of that excess product and bring it on your lower lash line. I already have big eyes, so this technique just sort of helps to like elongate my eyes a bit, I guess I would say. And I feel like it's a little less harsh than like a bold black eyeliner. I just feel like this sort of gives you a little bit of that smokiness dimension without it looking like too nighttime. Now I'm going in with one of my favorite mascaras. This is the Fenty Beauty mascara, and they're one color. I think they have multiple colors, but this is in hella thick. Oh no, because I'm black. Fitting for Black History Month. I love this one because I do like the consistency of the like product. Just a FYI, I am mascara girl. I pretty like mascara. Like, I will douse on mascara, even for work, low-key. But we're gonna keep it a little more muted today. As I prepare to get back into the workforce, I am telling myself that I have to figure out a way to sort of balance my content creator life and my work life. When I first left my corporate job, my content creator life was kind of like just taking off in a sense. And so my time, understandably so, like I just had more time. Now I'm like, okay, now that I actually am doing kind of like some stuff in the creator sphere, even though last year was, well, a dud, but I am still doing stuff. It's just having to balance. I got to figure out balance. And admittedly, I think I'm a little nervous that I'm not going to figure out that balance and then this will suffer, but I'm keeping a promise to myself. I say, you just got to figure it out, girl. Before I forget, I'm using the One Size Fantasize mascara, one of my favorites. Particularly, I love the brush on this mascara. I like to layer my mascaras because the brush on this one really fans out my lashes. I'm only putting a little bit on my lower lash line. And that's it for the eyes. That's it, y'all. Finally, my lips, which is my other favorite part. Ooh, the lighting. I can't even, there's a shadow here. Something was casting a shadow, could not figure out what. But I'm gonna go on with a little bit of my Sephora Rouge Gel Liner in the shade Molasses. Love this stuff. I'm not gonna go in too heavy like I usually do. That's it. I had to find a new spot. The sun was not playing. New background. And I'm gonna go on with my NYX Butter Gloss in Lava Cake, one of my favorite lip colors. And I'm just going to amplify that brown liner. So I just like to go on with a nice like kind of pinky kind of gloss that sort of provides a nice deposit of pigment, but nothing too crazy. This one is from Kaja Beauty in the shade Fig Smoothie. I love this one because it smells amazing. It smells so good. Oh God, it smells like a Jolly Rancher. That is the face. Let me put on some earrings so we can get the full look. Hold on. Thanks so much for watching this video. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Obviously, my background is different because I had to move around with the sun. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. If you're able to spare some minutes in the morning time and you're able to do this look, it just makes you kind of ready for the day and you feel like a little more motivated to get some work done. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. As always, I appreciate y'all for watching and I'm gonna catch y'all in my next one. Until next time, bye.